Poor village girl was forced to marry a homeless bricklayer, unaware he's a secret billionaire. In the dry rural town of Maple Cross, where rust-colored dirt kissed every bare foot and silence echoed louder than laughter, lived a girl named Ella Green. She was only 21, but the sorrow in her eyes whispered stories older than time. Once, she had dreams, real ones. But they were buried the day her mother was lowered into the cold ground 5 years ago. Her father, Mr. Walter Green, was never the same. A once gentle mechanic turned bitter alcoholic. As if fate hadn't taken enough, he brought home a venomous woman named Deborah, who made Ella's life a slow death. Deborah's favorite pastime was making Ella scrub the floors, fetch heavy pails of water, and cook meals she was never allowed to eat. The village folks pitied her, but no one dared to confront Walter. Not even the local priest. The fear of his fists kept everyone silent. Then came Noah Carter, a young, worn-out man from the city. His clothes were dusty, his sneakers barely clinging to their soles, but his eyes burned with something rare, resolve. For 3 months, he worked in Walter's workshop, fixing old engines, lifting rusty iron frames, and getting nothing in return. Every week, he'd ask for his payment, and every week, Walter's answer was the same: come next week. When I get something. But that week never came. One scorching afternoon, Noah walked up to the porch, his hands black with grease, eyes weary. "Sir, I really need my money. Please." Walter, slouched on a wooden chair with a bottle in hand, didn't answer immediately. He looked around slowly, then his gaze landed on Ella, who was sweeping the yard, her back bent from exhaustion. A wicked grin sliced across his face. "You want money?" "Yes, sir." "Please," Noah said again. Walter took a long gulp and pointed at Ella. "Take her." Noah blinked. "Excuse me?" "My daughter. That one. She's of no use to me. Let her go with you. That's your payment." Ella froze, her fingers tightening around the broom. "Daddy, please no." "Shut your mouth." Walter thundered. "You should be thankful someone wants you at all." Deborah folded her arms and smirked. One less mouth to feed. Ella fell to her knees, crying. But no one moved. No one spoke for her. Noah looked at her. Fragile, dirty, but undeniably graceful. Her spirit, though crushed, still had light. He whispered, "Beautiful." "What?" Walter snapped. Noah straightened. "I'll take her." And just like that, Ella's life shattered, and was reborn. With only a plastic bag holding 2 faded dresses and a pair of torn flats, she followed the man she didn't know. No hugs. No goodbyes. Only her little half-brother Ben, hiding behind the house, waving with tears. The journey to the city was long, full of silence and dust. Ella didn't speak. Noah didn't explain. She stared out the bus window, thinking, God, did I just get sold like firewood? Please, let this man be different. But Ella had no idea, the man she now followed had a secret. What Ella didn't know was that the man she just got sold to wasn't just a homeless worker, he was hiding a billion-dollar secret. The city wasn't what Ella imagined. It was louder, faster, brighter. Neon signs blinked on every street. Cars honked like angry geese. Skyscrapers kissed the clouds. She clutched her bag tightly, her eyes darting nervously. She had never seen so many people in one place. Noah barely spoke during the journey, but his silence wasn't cruel, it was thoughtful. He kept glancing at her, like he wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. They took a small cab through winding backstreets until they arrived at a quiet, flower-lined lane. Noah knocked on a large black gate. A few seconds later, it creaked open. Ella's breath caught. Behind that gate was a compound that looked like something out of a TV show. Clean white walls, trimmed hedges, a sparkling stone path, and even a small bubbling fountain tucked in the corner. But instead of heading into the grand white mansion in the center, Noah led her to a smaller, neat bungalow at the back, a simple one-bedroom with a tiny kitchen and living space. "This is where I stay," Noah said, gently unlocking the door. "I just got a job as a security guard here. The owner, she's kind, said I could live in the guest house for free as long as I take care of the place." Ella's eyes widened. "This is free?" Noah nodded. "As long as I don't cause trouble." Ella stepped inside slowly. The air smelled of lemon polish and clean linen. The mattress had clean white sheets. The floor was tiled, not bare concrete like she was used to. The kitchen had a gas cooker, no firewood, no smoke. To Ella, it felt like royalty. I don't know what to say," she whispered. Noah turned to her. "You don't have to say anything. Just rest. I won't ask anything of you. You're not here to pay me back. You're here because you deserve peace." That night, Ella slept on a real bed. No rats. No drunken shouting. No beatings. She curled under the blanket, tears sliding down her cheek, not from fear this time, but from relief. The next morning, the smell of sizzling eggs and bread woke her. She followed the scent to the kitchen. There was Noah, humming quietly as he flipped eggs in a pan. "Good morning," she said softly. He turned and smiled. "Morning. I figured you'd be hungry." She nodded, surprised. "I haven't had breakfast made for me in years." They sat at the table, small, but perfect. After they ate, Noah stood. "I want you to meet someone." "Who?" Ella asked. He smiled. "Just dress neat. You'll see." She quickly wore the one decent dress she had, soft blue cotton, slightly faded but clean. Her heart pounded. They walked to the main house. The large black door opened, and a tall, elegant woman in her 50s stood smiling. "Noah," she said warmly. "And this must be the lovely Ella." "This is my wife," Noah said proudly. Ella's heart skipped. Wife? But who was this woman, and why did she look at Ella like she knew more than she let on? Ella's breath hitched as the elegant woman stepped forward. She was tall, graceful, and wore a silk blouse that shimmered like it had never seen dust. Her hair was perfectly styled. Her voice was calm, controlled, but kind. "I'm Mrs. Evelyn Carter," she said, extending her hand. "Welcome, my dear. Noah told me about you." Ella's hands trembled as she reached out. "Good morning, ma'am." Mrs. Carter smiled. "You're beautiful. But it's not just your face, it's your presence. Strong, soft, but not weak." Noah looked at Ella with quiet pride. "She's been through a lot." Mrs. Carter nodded. "Haven't we all? Come in, both of you." The inside of the mansion made Ella's jaw drop. Chandeliers like icicles hung from the ceiling. The air smelled of lavender and money. The walls were decorated with portraits that looked like they belonged in a museum. She sat on the edge of the white couch, careful not to stain it. Mrs. Carter noticed. "Relax, dear. This is your home now too. Any wife of Noah is family." Ella blinked. Family? After tea and gentle conversation, Mrs. Carter gave her a tour of the kitchen. "You cook?" Ella nodded slowly. "Yes, ma'am. It's all I've ever done." Mrs. Carter grinned. "Perfect. My cook just left for the UK. You can help out here while I find a replacement, unless you're up for the job." Ella stared at her. "Me? The cook? You're already better than most. Noah says your yam porridge could bring peace to nations." Ella blushed. "I'd love to help." That night, back at the guest house, Noah was fixing a broken table leg when Ella sat beside him on the floor. She watched him work in silence. "Noah," she said softly. Can I tell you something?" He paused. "Of course." She wrung her fingers together. "When my father gave me away, I thought I had no value. Like I was just an object. I thought you'd be the same. That you'd treat me like property." Noah looked up at her gently. "But you didn't. You gave me kindness. Space. You didn't even touch me. Not once." He leaned back and exhaled slowly. "That's not love, Ella. That's control. I want more than that with you." Ella wiped a tear. "Thank you for seeing me. For not asking me to become a woman before I'm ready." He smiled. "You've always been a woman. You just didn't have the chance to bloom." The next morning, Ella was up early helping in the kitchen. As she sliced tomatoes, the sound of polished shoes on marble caught her attention. She turned, and there he was. A tall, athletic young man in his late 20s. Skin like bronze, jaw like a sculptor's masterpiece, and the kind of smirk that got girls in trouble. He leaned against the counter, eyes running over her slowly. "Damn," he said. "You're even prettier than my mother said." Ella stiffened. "I'm Daniel Carter," he added, extending a hand. She didn't move. She knew danger when it walked in smiling. But what Ella didn't know was, Daniel was the gatekeeper to a test, one that would either make or break her destiny. Ella forced a polite smile and returned to slicing the tomatoes, her hands steady despite the racing in her chest. "Good afternoon, sir," she said, her voice respectful. Daniel Carter leaned against the doorway, arms folded, eyes still fixed on her. "Oh, come on. Drop the sir. Just Daniel is fine." Ella didn't look up. "I'm sorry, I can't do that. You're my employer's son. It's not proper." He chuckled. "Polite and pretty. No wonder Noah brought you here." At the mention of Noah, Ella's eyes flicked up briefly, but she said nothing. Daniel stepped into the kitchen, slow and confident. "You know, when my mom said there was a village girl living out back, I pictured, well, not this." He gave her a pointed look. Ella took a step back from the counter. "Is there anything you'd like me to prepare, sir?" He laughed. "So formal. I like that. But no, I didn't come here for food." He lowered his voice. "I came to see what makes my brother smile for the first time in years." Her fingers tightened around the knife. "Brother?" "Wait, Noah is your brother?" she asked, stunned. "Half-brother," Daniel said. "Same mom, different dads. But yeah, he's family." Ella's mind spun. The quiet, humble security guard. Related to the wealthy owners of this mansion. Daniel stepped closer. "Let me guess. You didn't know, right? That's Noah for you. Always hiding. Always testing people. But me? I'm more direct." Ella swallowed. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I like you," he said bluntly. "And because I think you're wasting your time." She looked at him, confused. "Excuse me?" Daniel smiled, smooth, confident, dangerous. "You're clearly smart. You deserve more than a gate post and a tiny bungalow. I can give you more. Education. A real life. Abroad, if you want. Just say the word." Ella blinked. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," Daniel stepped even closer, "be mine. Leave Noah. Come with me. I'll turn your life into something out of a movie." Her mouth opened slightly. "Are you serious?" Daniel's smile deepened. "I've never been more serious. My mom already likes you. She'll support it. Noah. He'll be fine. We'll give him a generous goodbye package. Everybody wins. Ella stared at him, speechless. Daniel added, I'll wait for your answer. But not forever. He turned and walked out, leaving the scent of cologne and corruption behind. That evening, Ella returned to the guest house, her body tense, her heart pounding. Noah was outside fixing the garden light. You're quiet, he said. Everything okay? She sat beside him. Your brother, he came to the kitchen today. Noah paused. Daniel? She nodded. He made me an offer. Noah stood up slowly. What kind of offer? To leave you. To be his. In exchange for education, money, everything. Noah's face froze. I told him no, she said softly. Because I already have everything I need. Noah turned to her, stunned. Even if I have nothing to give. She took his hand. You gave me peace. That's more than money. Cliffhanger. But what neither of them knew was that Daniel wasn't done playing, and his next move would threaten to destroy everything they were building. The next few days passed like whispers in the dark, quiet, tense, uncertain. Ella avoided Daniel's eyes whenever they crossed paths in the main house. He, however, didn't stop watching her. Always calm, always smiling. Like a snake waiting for the right moment to strike. She told herself she was imagining things. But her body didn't lie. Every time Daniel walked into the room, her chest tightened. One morning, as she was prepping vegetables for stew, Mrs. Carter walked into the kitchen. She smiled, but there was something new in her eyes. Measured, curious. Ella, she said gently. You've done a wonderful job around here. I'm truly grateful. Thank you, ma'am. Tell me something, Mrs. Carter continued, leaning on the counter. What do you really want for yourself? Don't say peace. I mean dreams. Education. A career. A better life. Ella hesitated. I want to go back to school. Maybe become a nurse. Or a doctor, someday. Mrs. Carter smiled. Ambitious. That's good. You deserve more than scrubbing pots. I know, Ella replied, but I'm not rushing. I want to grow slowly, step by step. There was a pause. Then Mrs. Carter leaned in slightly. Daniel told me you turned down his offer. Ella's heart stopped. Ma'am. He said he offered you school, comfort, everything. And you said no. Ella lowered her eyes. Yes, I did. Why? Ella looked up. Because I'm married, ma'am. And because Noah believed in me when no one else did. He didn't just give me shelter. He gave me dignity. Mrs. Carter tilted her head. And if we offered you all those things without strings attached? A scholarship, money, a fresh start. No Daniel involved. Ella hesitated. Ma'am. I'm not ungrateful. But I believe in earning things, not receiving them out of pity or guilt. I want to rise with my husband. If that means slower progress, I'm okay with that. Mrs. Carter looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. I respect that. That evening, back at the guest house, Ella was cleaning when Noah came in early, his face tight. What's wrong? She asked. He pulled a folded piece of paper from his pocket. I was just given a letter. She took it and read quickly. Termination notice. Her hand trembled. They fired you? Noah nodded slowly. Said my services are no longer required. No reason given. Ella's eyes widened. It's Daniel. He did this. You told me if he crossed the line, you'd do something. Well, he just did. Noah sat down, his jaw clenched. I trusted that they wouldn't stoop this low. I didn't want to believe Daniel could really go that far. But he did, she whispered. So what now? Noah looked at her with calm resolve. Now we walk away. Together. But, where will we go? He reached into the drawer and pulled out a small pouch. Inside were stacks of crisp $100 bills. Ella gasped. Noah, where did this come from? Noah exhaled slowly. I've been saving. Quietly. Preparing. In case we ever needed to start over. But when Noah reveals what he really planned to do with the money, Ella will face a choice that could either secure their future, or cost them everything they've fought for. Ella stared at the bundles of cash like they were explosives. Her voice cracked. Noah, where did you get this? I saved every little dollar I earned from side hustles, fixing radios, helping neighbors, even selling scrap metal, he replied. It's not much, but I was going to use it to open a workshop, start my own business. Ella's heart swelled and broke at once. This is your dream. It was, he said softly. But now, I want it to be our dream. She took a deep breath. So, what are you saying? I want you to take it, he said firmly. Use the money for school. Go get that degree you've talked about every night. Don't wait for charity from people who look down on you. Use this. Be who you're meant to be. Ella stepped back. No. I won't do that. Noah frowned. Why not? Because, she said, her voice rising slightly, this is your dream too. You saved this money with sweat. You planned for a business. You don't get to throw that away just because I want to go to school. He tried to speak, but she raised her hand. Noah, she said, her voice steadier now, I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let Daniel or his mother make us feel like we're worthless without their money. You deserve your dream too. She paused, then added, let's do this together. Let's rent a small room. Start that workshop. I'll help you. I'll cook, manage the place, even wash engines if I have to. When we're stable, then I'll go to school. Noah looked at her in awe. You do that? Give up your education for now, just to help me? She smiled. I'm not giving it up. I'm investing in us. One step at a time. He stepped closer. Ella, you're not just my wife. You're my backbone. And you, she whispered, are the only man who ever saw me as a person, not a burden. They hugged, tight and trembling. Their tears were quiet, but the bond was louder than anything spoken. That night, they packed their things. Ella folded her few dresses into a small bag. Noah closed his toolbox and zipped up his duffel. They left behind the guest house, the mansion, the fountain, the insults. All of it. They found a one-room apartment on the outskirts of the city, a small place with peeling walls, a broken fan, and one window. But it was theirs. Noah used part of the money to rent a small garage space nearby. Within 2 weeks, he was fixing motorcycles and generators. Ella cooked for customers and managed money in a notebook. One evening, after a long day, they sat on the floor of their room, eating boiled plantains and beans. No regrets? Noah asked. Ella shook her head. None. This isn't a palace, but it's filled with peace. But just as they began to build something from nothing, a knock came at their door, and this time, it wasn't Daniel. It was someone Ella never expected to see again. Knock. 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 The sound echoed through the small room like thunder. Ella paused mid-bite. Noah set his spoon down carefully. Both exchanged a glance, tense, alert. Noah stood and opened the door. There, standing in the doorway with a dusty shirt, cracked slippers, and eyes swollen with shame, was Walter Green, Ella's father. Ella's spoon dropped. Her chest tightened. Daddy? He looked smaller than she remembered. Older. And, broken. My daughter, he said, his voice hoarse. Please. I didn't know where else to go. Noah stepped aside silently. Ella didn't move. Walter walked in slowly, hands trembling. He looked around the humble room and nodded. So this is where you've been. You've done well for yourself. Ella's eyes narrowed. What do you want? Walter exhaled. I came to say I'm sorry. Silence filled the room. I was wrong, he continued, his voice cracking. About everything. When your mother died, I lost myself. But that's no excuse for how I treated you. For selling you like that. I was a monster. Ella looked away. Her fists clenched. She had imagined this moment so many times, but not like this, not in her tiny rented room, not with beans and plantains sitting cold on the floor. Your stepmother is sick, Walter said. She's in and out of the hospital. We have no money left. I thought, maybe, you could help. Or let your sister come stay with you. Just for a while. Ella blinked. You want help? After everything? I'm not proud, Walter said. But I'm desperate. Noah stood back, watching quietly. He didn't interrupt. Ella stood slowly. Her voice was calm. When I begged you that day not to send me with a stranger, you laughed. Walter looked down. When I cried, when I slept in the kitchen on the floor, when I starved, you said nothing. You let that woman beat me. You let me rot. I know, he whispered. Ella's voice rose. You called me worthless. A burden. And now you're here, because you have no one else. Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. With all due respect, I forgive you. But I won't go back to that pain. Walter's eyes filled too. Please, just my younger daughter. She's still a child. She's innocent. She misses you. Ella's lips trembled. Then she looked at Noah. I'll help the girl, she said finally. But not you. She can stay with us, for a while. And if you ever need help for something urgent, I'll consider it. But if you call me just to dump problems on me, don't bother. Walter nodded slowly, swallowing the last of his pride. He turned to Noah. Thank you for not turning her into me. Noah simply said, I never had to. She was always gold. You just didn't see it. Walter left, his shadow lingering long after the door closed. Ella turned to Noah and finally let the tears fall. But the next day, as they prepared to bring her sister into their tiny home, a black SUV pulled up outside, and what stepped out would shake the truth of Noah's identity wide open. The black SUV parked with a quiet hum just outside their small, cracked-walled apartment. It was sleek, spotless, and far too expensive for the neighborhood. Children stopped playing. Neighbors peeked from curtains. Ella was folding laundry when she noticed the car. She stepped to the window. Noah, she called, confused. Do you know anyone who drives that? Noah walked over, wiped his hands on a towel, and froze when he saw it. The passenger door opened. Out stepped a tall man in a navy suit, holding a leather briefcase. He looked important, dangerously important. Then the back door opened. Mrs. Carter. Ella gasped. What is she doing here? Noah didn't answer. His face was unreadable. A moment later, a third person stepped out, Daniel Carter. Ella's blood turned cold. 3 of them. Dressed like they walked out of a magazine. On her doorstep. What now? A gentle knock followed. Noah opened the door. Mother. Mrs. Carter gave a tight smile. May we come in? He stepped aside, silent. They entered. The room suddenly felt too small for its walls. Mrs. Carter's eyes scanned the room. So this is where you've been living. Daniel smirked. Quite the downgrade. Ella crossed her arms, protective. Why are you here? Mrs. Carter turned to Noah. Because it's time. Noah sighed. I told you. I needed more time. Too bad, Daniel said. The press is already sniffing around. Ella looked between them. What are you talking about? Mrs. Carter turned to Ella. You deserve the truth, my dear. Everything. Noah nodded slowly. Ella, I wasn't completely honest with you. I wanted to tell you, but I was scared. Scared you'd treat me like the others. She stepped back, confused. Tell me what? He took a deep breath. I'm not a broke security guard. I never was. I'm the heir to Carter Holdings, real estate, construction, and logistics. I built that mansion. I own it. And 20 more across the country. Ella's lips parted. What? I left it all to live simply. To find someone who loved me for me. I couldn't take another gold digger pretending. You tested me, she asked, her voice rising. No, I protected myself, he said. But you passed every test. Ella's knees went weak. She sat down, stunned. Mrs. Carter nodded. You've proven you're not just a good woman, Ella. You're the only woman worthy of standing beside my son. I fought it at first. But now, I see it clearly. Daniel rolled his eyes. Whatever. I still think she's just lucky. Ella looked up slowly, her voice sharp now. No. I'm loved. There's a difference. Noah knelt in front of her, holding her hand. You believed in me when I gave you nothing. Now I want to give you everything. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small red velvet box. Ella gasped. Inside, a diamond ring that shimmered like fire under sunlight. I gave you a fake ring before, Noah said. This one is real. If you'll still have me, wear it. Ella stared at the ring, but could she say yes to a life built on love and a lie? Ella stared at the ring in Noah's hand. Her heart raced, but not from excitement, from war. This was the man who gave her peace when she had nothing, but also lied to her face. Noah, she said slowly, I don't know if I should be angry or honored. He didn't flinch. Be both. I'll take either. Just don't walk away. She looked down at the diamond. Perfect. Timeless. Expensive enough to buy her entire village. I thought we were building from scratch, she whispered. I thought I was helping us grow, not walking into something already finished. But you were building, he said. Every minute you cooked, cleaned, smiled through pain, you were building me. That mansion. My companies. They're nothing without a soul. And you gave me that. Silence. Mrs. Carter stood in the corner, still watching. For once, Daniel wasn't smirking. Even he knew this wasn't a moment for jokes. Ella's eyes watered. You know what hurt the most, she said. That I finally found a man who didn't hide, who didn't play games. And now I learn, you wore a mask too. Noah lowered his gaze. You're right. But, she added, voice cracking, you didn't use your power to control me. You gave me choice. Respect. And when you had every chance to take advantage of me, you didn't. He looked up, hope flickering. So. She smiled through her tears and slipped the ring onto her finger. I forgive you. But you still owe me a car. And a mansion. And a degree. Everyone laughed. Even Daniel. Noah stood, pulling her into a hug. You'll get all of that. And more. Mrs. Carter stepped forward and held Ella's shoulders. Welcome officially to the Carter family, my daughter. Daniel clapped twice. Well, I guess this Cinderella story has a real diamond ending. Ella turned to him. Oh, Daniel. Yes. She smiled. If you ever hit on me again, I'll personally have your car towed. Noah roared with laughter. That's my queen. Over the next few weeks, the transition began. Their small room was traded for a penthouse in Uptown. The workshop transformed into a full-service auto tech hub, with Noah as CEO and Ella managing finance. Ella enrolled in university, pre-med. But she didn't change who she was. She still cooked for Noah. She still sent money to her half-sister. And she never stopped wearing that soft blue cotton dress on Sundays, the same one she wore when her life began to change. Then came the next dream. She walked across the graduation stage in a white coat, with her stethoscope around her neck. Noah stood in the front row, tears in his eyes, clapping like a child. When she stepped off the stage, he held her and whispered, "I told you. You were always royalty, just hidden in the wrong palace." But before the celebration could end, Ella pulled Noah aside and whispered, "There's something I haven't told you yet, and it might change everything." Noah blinked. "What do you mean something that might change everything?" Ella gently pulled him aside, her white coat fluttering in the breeze, her graduation cap still pinned to her braids. The celebration buzzed behind them, cameras flashing, Mrs. Carter weeping into a silk handkerchief, Daniel live streaming on his phone like a true Carter. But none of that mattered now. Ella held Noah's hands, trembling slightly. "I took a test last week." He frowned. "What kind of test?" She looked into his eyes. "A pregnancy test." Noah's jaw dropped. "Wait. You're saying?" She smiled, teary-eyed. "Yes, Noah. I'm 3 months pregnant." He stumbled back like someone had just punched joy into his chest. "Ella, you're going to be a mom." She nodded. "And you, a dad." He grabbed her waist, lifted her off the ground and spun her around like a kid with his first trophy. "Yes. Yes. God, thank you." Mrs. Carter gasped. "What's going on?" "We're having a baby." Noah shouted. Daniel nearly dropped his phone. "Oh wow, okay. That's a twist I didn't see coming." Ella laughed, her hands on her stomach. "You always said we were building a future. Well now, we're literally building one." Noah knelt and kissed her belly. "My little prince or princess, I will love you more than I ever thought possible. And you'll never feel 1 ounce of the pain your mother felt." Ella's smile trembled. "That's all I want. A better life. A clean slate." Weeks passed, then months. And with every day, Ella blossomed, not just as a mother, but as a woman in her full purpose. Noah surprised her with a new house, not just any house, but a white mansion on the hilltop, designed with her favorite flowers growing in the garden and a nursery painted in soft yellows and greens. "This is your palace now," he said. "No more back buildings. No more sweeping someone else's yard. This kingdom is yours." On the wall inside the living room hung a gold-framed photo of Ella on her graduation day, and beside it, a photo of her as a little girl in the village. The contrast was jarring. But beautiful. The caption read, "From forgotten to forever." One quiet Sunday, as they sat on the balcony sipping tea, Ella looked out at the sky and whispered, "Do you remember when I said I was tired of praying?" Noah nodded. "I'm glad I didn't stop. Because if I had, I would have missed you." He kissed her hand. "And I would have missed the woman who turned my hiding place into a home." As the sun began to set, their daughter kicked inside Ella's womb, life speaking from the inside out. She smiled and whispered to her unborn child, "You are not born of pain. You are born of love." Dear viewers, if you were touched by Ella and Noah's journey, from betrayal to breakthrough, from shame to strength, drop a in the comments. What did this story teach you about love, loyalty, and knowing your worth? Share it with someone who needs to believe again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories that heal and uplift. Your story might be next. Until then, stay blessed.